Fire Tera Hisuian Typhlosion is the latest 7-star Tera raid. Dan Squared has you covered to make sure you get the win in every 7-star Tera raid. Welcome back to another Dan Squared video, you Danimals. After the painful critical hits of 7-star Hisuian Decidueye, we are excited to see what Game Freak throws at us next with Hisuian Typhlosion. Game Freak did give us a Blissey Spotlight Tera raid in between Decidueye and Typhlosion. The last time that we had a Blissey Spotlight raid, it was right before Mewtwo. And Mewtwo is the hardest 7-star Tera raid that we've faced by far. Either way, we have you covered for Typhlosion like we do for every 7-star Tera raid. We got a full preview for you, we got a whole mess of excellent builds, and we'll have raid streams throughout both weekends. This Tera raid preview is brought to you by our Soul Link Nuzlocke of Pokemon Emerald. Go check it out if you haven't already. It's one of our favorite projects that we've worked on this channel. Now back to Typhlosion. We will be live taking on Typhlosion as soon as it drops, Thursday, November 2nd at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Before we talk about countering Typhlosion, we have to talk about Typhlosion itself. We think Hisuian Typhlosion is going to boil down to 3 major themes. It's going to be a glass cannon, it's going to keep our Pokemon burned, and it's going to set sunlight. Hisuian Typhlosion is a much more threatening special attacker with a special attack of 119, but it still has a respectable attack of 84. The first time we saw Typhlosion in a 7-star Tera raid, it was actually a mixed attacker and it used Earthquake. For dealing damage to Typhlosion, physical attacking is the way to go. Its defense is 7 points lower than its special defense. It doesn't have a ton of HP, so this is shaping up to be one of the less bulky Tera raids. All of the 7-star Tera raid Pokemon so far have had their hidden ability, so we expect the same for Typhlosion. Not only is Frisk useless for Typhlosion, but it actively helps us, the players. It lets you know what held item your teammates have. It's a Fire and Ghost type Pokemon, so we know for sure it's going to have stabs of those two types. For its Fire type, we're expecting Eruption. Eruption hits for a ton of damage with 150 base power, but it gets weaker as the user's HP goes down. It could also have a move like Flamethrower or Fire Blast that has a chance to burn the target. That would have perfect synergy with Hisuian Typhlosion's signature move, Inferno Parade. It has a base power of 60 that's double to 120 if the target is inflicted with a status condition, and it has a 30% chance to burn the target. It has some great coverage moves that make up for Fire's 3 weaknesses: Ground, Rock, and Water. We think Typhlosion is going to use the combination of Sunny Day and Solar Beam in this Tera raid. Solar Beam is a grass-type move that gives Typhlosion coverage against all 3 of its weaknesses at once. It can further check rock types by potentially having Focus Blast. This is an inaccurate but hard-hitting move. I could see Game Freak giving Typhlosion Thunder Punch to give it additional coverage against water types. This would also make it a mixed attacker by giving it a physical attacking move. We think it'll have Sunny Day to set Harsh Sunlight. We think it's going to take a page out of 7-star Mewtwo's book and use Calm Mind to power itself up and give it some special bulk. We could also see it being a nuisance with Confuse Ray. Now that we have a good idea of what we're up against, let's talk about our counters to beat Typhlosion. There are 3 types that hit Fire type for super effective damage, and that is Ground, Rock, and Water. We have 2 counters for each type, 1 special attacking and 1 physical attacking. In the left column, you'll see the 3 physical attacking builds, and right above me here, you'll see the 3 special attacking builds. All 6 of these builds use the Shell Bell held item for some recovery. Weather control is more important against Typhlosion than it's ever been in a 7-star raid. You'll notice that all 6 of our builds have either Sandstorm or Rainy Day to control the weather. This makes it even more important to coordinate with your teammates in this Tera raid, so we suggest that you join the Dan Squared Discord to raid with the Danimals and come raid with us on our live streams. Stick around after these 6 builds to see our bonus support build that you can use in group Typhlosion raids.
Here's our Garchomp build to take on 7-star Hisuian Typhlosion. We gave our Garchomp max attack EV so it can hit the hardest, and we gave it max special defense so it can tank Typhlosion's special attacking moves. We put the last 4 in HP. Our Garchomp has the ability Sand Veil so that it boosts its evasiveness in a Sandstorm. Speaking of Sandstorms, our first move is Sandstorm, so we can raise our evasiveness and avoid some of Typhlosion's attacks. We also gave it Swords Dance so we can raise our attack 2 stages every time we use it, and Earthquake to hit for super effective damage against Fire-type Typhlosion. Our 4th move is Crunch, which gives us a 20% chance to lower Typhlosion's defense by 1 stage while we charge our Tera Orb. To best utilize this Garchomp, use Sandstorm on turn 1, then power up by using Swords Dance. Then we're going to use Crunch until we can Terrasilize, and finally we'll be swinging with Earthquake.
Here's our Landorus build for taking down Typhlosion. It has max special attack EVs, max special defense EVs, and the final 4 into HP. Our Landorus has the ability Sand Force, which increases the power of its ground type moves in this raid by 30% while a Sandstorm is active. And just like our Garchomp build, we're packing Sandstorm to activate our ability. We chose Earth Power as this build's main attacking move for the 90 base power, 100% accuracy, and 10% chance to lower Typhlosion's special defense by 1 stage. Calm Mind powers up Earth Power and gives us additional special bulk. Landorus is already faster than Typhlosion, but Bulldoze allows Landorus to give some speed control to its allies. To best use this build on turn 1, use Sandstorm. Use Bulldoze once or twice in a group raid, power up with Calm Mind and start swinging with Earth Power. Up next is our physical attacking Tera Rock counter. It's our Hisuian Arcanine build for taking down Typhlosion. Who better to counter one Hisuian Pokemon than another Hisuian Pokemon? Some may say Hisuian squared. Our Arcanine has max attack EVs, max special defense EVs, and we put the final 4 into HP. We are opting for the ability Flash Fire for our Arcanine to give it immunity to Typhlosion's Fire-type moves. We considered the ability Rockhead to prevent any recoil from Arcanine's moves, and then using Rockhead, which has an incredible base power of 150, but unfortunately has an accuracy of 80 and a max PP of 8. Rock Slide is Arcanine's main attacking move. It hits for good damage, and if we're raiding with an ally that can drop Typhlosion's speed, we'll have a 30% chance to make it flinch. Howl increases the attack of Arcanine and its allies. I could see groups of 4 Arcanine being able to shred Typhlosion in group raids. Spend the first 2 turns howling, and then Typhlosion is facing 4 Arcanine with +6 attack. Sandstorm gives this build weather control and gives Arcanine and its rock-type teammates a 50% boost to their special defense. Snarl further boosts the special bulk of this build by lowering Typhlosion's special attack. Fun fact about Darth Maul the Arcanine, it is from my original playthrough of Pokemon Legends Arceus. Great game. This should be a great build in group raids. Turn 1, use Sandstorm for the special defense boost. Then use some Snarls to lower Typhlosion's damage output. Power up with Howl and start swinging with Rock Slide. If you're enjoying this list and this video so far, make sure to drop a like, leave a comment with what you are using against Typhlosion, and subscribe for more Dan Squared. Now back to the list. Here's our Glimmora for taking down Typhlosion. This is the special attacking Tera Rock counter. There are not many to choose from. It has max special attack EVs, max special defense EVs, and we put the final 4 into HP. Neither of Glimmora's abilities help it in this Tera raid. This build is going to hit for rock solid damage with Power Gem. Acid Spray softens up Typhlosion for Power Gem. Light Screen gives Glimmora and its allies additional special bulk. And we have another build with Sandstorm to give us weather control and boost Glimmora's special defense by 50%. This build cannot raise its own special attack, so I'm not sure if it's going to do enough damage to solo, but it's a great mixed support Pokemon. To best use this build, use Light Screen, Sandstorm, then 3 Acid Sprays. Then start swinging with Power Gem. Here's our Politoed for taking down Typhlosion. Fun fact, we meant to name Politoed Croaks after Ribby and Croaks from Cuphead. Make sure you check out our playthrough of Cuphead if you haven't already. Our Frog has max attack EVs, max HP EVs, and we put the final 4 into special defense. Our water Pokemon have HP EVs instead of special defense EVs because we're not sure whether Typhlosion is going to have Solar Beam or Thunder Punch. Our build has the ability Drizzle, which causes the raining weather condition when it enters the field. Rain weakens Typhlosion's Fire-type moves and powers up our Water-type moves. We could see Typhlosion starting this raid with a turn 0 Eruption. Drizzle would help weaken that and improve the survivability of our entire team. Our build has Rain Dance to maintain that weather control throughout the entire battle. Liquidation hits for excellent damage and has a 20% chance to lower the target's defense by 1 stage. Belly Drum powers up Liquidation. Amnesia boosts the special bulk of this build, helping it survive potentially super effective solar beams. To best use this build, use Amnesia on turn 1. Then use Belly Drum and start swinging with Liquidation. Reset the rain as needed. Here's our Goodra for taking down Typhlosion. Our Goodra has max HP EVs and max special attack EVs. Sap Sipper is the key to this build. It makes Goodra immune to grass-type attacks. This lets it terrestrialize to water-type without any fear of Solar Beam. It has Life Dew to provide some healing for its allies. Once again, we have Rain Dance to weaken Typhlosion's Fire-type attacks and strengthen our water attacks. Acid Spray softens up Typhlosion for Muddy Water. Muddy Water is this build's main attacking move. It hits for good damage and has a 30% chance to lower the target's accuracy by 1 stage. You could also use Surf if you prefer to use moves with 100% accuracy. To best use this build, start off with Rain Dance and use 3 Acid Sprays. Then start swinging with Muddy Water. Mix in a Life Dew as needed. Here's our bonus support build, Dachshbun. It has max HP EVs, max special defense EVs, and the final 4 into attack. The ability Well-Baked Body is the key to this build. This not only makes Dachshbun immune to Typhlosion's Fire-type moves, but it also causes those Fire-type moves to sharply raise Dachshbun's defense. Dachshbun uses Crunch for the 20% chance to lower Typhlosion's defense by 1 stage. This softens it up for our physical attacking allies. We can further boost one ally's attack power by 50% with Helping Hand. Snarl increases the survivability of this build and its allies by lowering Typhlosion's special attack. Misty Terrain is the other key to this build. As we mentioned in the beginning, Typhlosion wants to burn our Pokemon. Remember that its signature move, Infernal Parade, has a 30% chance to cause a burn, and its base power is doubled if we are affected with this status condition. Misty Terrain prevents all Pokemon that are on the ground from being affected with this status condition. This would make Dachshbun and its non-flying type allies immune from getting burned. This would prevent the extra damage from burn, but also the attack drops for our physical attacking allies. If you enjoyed this video, please consider dropping a like, leaving a comment, or using Infernal Parade on that subscribe button for more Dan Squared. Thanks for watching and happy Hisuian Typhlosion season.